Well, hello there. It's been a long time since I've done a cologne or a fragrance review, but this video today is going to be just a little self-chat about all my opinions about how to use colognes and I'm also going to review 3 different ones. I have from a great friend of mine of 42 years, Eau Sauvage, no, I'm sorry, not Eau Sauvage, Sauvage by Dior, Eau Forte. And, but being that we're both Portuguese, we say Eau Forte, but it's Eau Forte. And so that's gonna be one to review. Another one is from a good friend of mine in Fresno, California. And this is Guerlain Ideal Extreme. Very nice cologne, very heavy. And lastly, one that I just picked up, Bucheron EDT. Now I have just recently ordered the EDP Parfum, and it's not here yet, but this one I've worn and we'll get into it. It's really good. So thanks for stopping by. And I just had a wild hair and I thought, well, let me go ahead and do a review. I haven't done one for quite some time, like I said. And what I wanted to say is that this will be for men only, meaning that I do post videos of my gardening and other house chores, well, other home improvement things, or just, random videos, or I will post more random videos. But this today is going to be basically just for men, a cologne review, and kind of a quick little chat of ideas that I have. So with that being said, first off, what I believe in doing is, which I just did, I just got out of the shower, I am presenting myself to you naked, meaning free of any fragrances. And that includes any soaps, shampoos, conditioners, skin lotions, anything of that nature. So when I prepare myself to take on a cologne for the day, I like to clean or cleanse myself very well. And what I've discovered lately is this wonderful charcoal activated soap, of all places, from the Dollar Tree store. $1.25 for a bar, lasts quite a while. And it is non-scented, unscented, fragrance-free, charcoal activated, wonderful soap. Lathers up really well. I feel very clean with it. And I like to cleanse myself at least twice over. Cleanse, rinse, repeat, just like I used to do when I was a hairdresser with shampooing. Always cleanse, rinse, repeat. Anyhow, so that's how I started today off, and I thought, well, you know what? Since I'm really clean, and before I went ahead and quickly sprayed on cologne, and I don't really go many places anymore like I used to. But being that I like classic and classy things, I have classy, nice things from years ago. I mean, I'm talking shoes and coats and things, some colognes, and I still try to get colognes that I used to purchase back in the 80s and 90s. And even though they are reformulated, and some of them seem to be done pretty well, but I'm turning 64 this year, and so I'm not, failing in my memory, not yet anyhow. And I can remember things vividly, especially through one of the sensations we have, through the sense of smell. So with that being said, I wanted to also hit on a topic that when you go off and look and read cologne reviews from a lot of people, you have to take it, in my opinion, with a grain of salt. And so with that I mean that, for example, have you recently had a cold? Do you have some kind of a sinusitis problem? Have you had been exposed to something that has altered you or altered your sense of smell, your olfactory senses, right? But furthermore, I think it depends on the individual, forgetting about any potential problem with your sense of smell. And by that I mean, think about this. Sounds silly to bring this up, but I read reports on this, and it's like, wow, that really hit a button with me. And that is this. Just think of the herb cilantro. I guess it's an herb, right? Yeah, I would say that's an herb. Okay, cilantro is not my favorite herb. It just isn't. But here's the thing. What they say, that there are people that really love cilantro, and I'm not one of them. And there are people that detest the taste of cilantro. And the people that, like myself, detest the taste of cilantro, to them, as it is to me, it's a taste of what you could imagine of dirty dishpan soap water. Absolutely horrible. I just cannot stand it. Now, sometimes when it's cooked into food and all that, it blends in, that I don't notice it quite as much. But they say that people that sense that flavor of what would be thought of as a flavor of dirty dishpan soap water tend to be people that actually are more sensitive and more able to go ahead and sniff out, if you will, different levels of aromas or fragrances, textures, or whatever you want to call it, that they're more sensitive to fragrances, smells, aromas, whatever you want to call it. And I feel that that is true, because I've been told most of my life, and I never really stopped to think about it, but when I eat, I apparently have a bad tendency to Well, I think the reason is because I'm highly sensitized to smell, flavors, different aromas, smells, and all that. And it really impacts me, especially if it's something I really enjoy. And I don't realize that I'm like, oh my God, oh, that's so good, Well, that's how it is. I literally do not realize that I'm doing that. Not until back in 2001, when I went to visit friends in England for their wedding. And we were there, and the wedding was being filmed, and of course the reception, all that. And there we are eating our dinner and all that. And they're panning the video camera around. And I, along with a lot of friends of mine and all that, they were, we're all chatting and eating and all that. And before they even got to me, I thought, what in the hell is that weird sound? Somebody's oohing and awing and moaning and groaning in this video at a wedding. What the hell is going on? Well, they keep on panning the camera over, and then come to find out it was me, and it was like I was enjoying the meal at the wedding. It was really good, and it was free. So anyhow, that really made me moan and groan. And so, and everybody was laughing, because when they played it back to all of us from the wedding party, I had made mention of that. And I said, at first, before I realized it was myself doing that, and I said, oh my God, what is that horrible, horrid sound and all that? And people looked at me and they were laughing. They rolled off their chairs onto the floors. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible, But then apparently, and that's what, 23 years ago, that I was in England for like 3 weeks or so, and I had a fabulous trip. It was wonderful. But anyhow, apart from that, which incidentally is when I wore Creed. That's where I bought a lot of my Creed fragrances, was at Harrods department store in England. But that's a whole nother topic. But it was really, it was weird. But so, my point being, to come back to my point that I'm trying to make, is that I'm very sensitive, like a lot of other people, many other people, to fragrance, to flavors, to their environment, and all that. I've been always labeled as very hypersensitive, and to sound too, very hypersensitive. This is why I think a lot of times crowds of people, throngs of people annoy me, especially now that I'm older. But that's just how it is. So, with all that being said, I didn't want to make this video too long. That's the one thing about a lot of videos I see out there that come in with graphics and music and all this hoopla. I just like to talk to you, just person to person, and try to convey to you my feelings and my experiences, having been a lover of fragrances since, well, 1977, 1976. As I mentioned in one of my videos, the first higher end colognes to me that I purchased was again in San Francisco at I. Magnin, a department store, just like so many other things are no longer around. Aramis Devon was my first department store fragrance that I bought. And that, I want to say that was 1977, I believe it was, on Union Square, downtown San Francisco, just down the road from where I grew up. Well, down the road across the bridge, and just literally 20 minutes by car, if that, to the store. And anyhow, from that point forward, I really have been motivated by the sense of smell, as the visual sense, audio sense, flavor, taste sense, you know, all those, feeling, all that other stuff, good feeling of good fine fabric and all that. But so then the 80s came along, and of course that's when a lot of the powerhouse fragrances, well, in the 70s too, of course, but the ones where I was a little bit older now and starting to go to dance clubs and all that came about, and that's where I had the experience with a lot of the colognes that seem to be coming back and becoming very popular today with a whole new generation, maybe much like yourself, you know, that could be included in that generation, or people that are watching today from my generation, or older for that matter. But I've always liked fragrances that lean on the classy side. And but then I like fun fragrances too. I like dime store fragrances. I did then and I still do. I think it's just like people. They can offer their bit of culture, their bit of background, their expertise, or whatever you want to call it. Same thing with wall colors. Let's not even get into that, because I've painted my living room 5 times since I've been here in the 7 years. But I love textures in different colors and different foods and different, you know, all that. So I have an appreciation, and I think everything belongs somewhere in there. And I would like to do a review on even colognes I have now, even like Paul Sebastian, Passion for Men. But then I have my tried and true Van Cleef & Arpels, much higher end, much more expensive, yes. I did a cologne review, as you know, probably, if you follow me on my channel, of Chanel, which is also from my same friend that gave me the Sauvage Forte. Try to focus that on there if I can. And this bottle is the, oh yeah, that's the bottom of it, the CD. What size bottle is this again? What is it? What is it? Well, I believe this is a bottle. I have the box in the other room. I want to say it's at least 3.4, but it might be bigger than that. My Chanel, Bleu de Chanel, pure parfum bottle is 5 ounces, 5.0 ounces. This one I believe is 3.4, but don't quote me on it, but it's at least that because it's a good sized bottle. So anyhow, without further ado, let me go with the Guerlain, which I'm a huge fan of, and which, by the way, I'm starting to realize that I like French-based colognes. I like Italian too, and American and all that, but I think that the French really have it. Here is the bottom of that. I'm hoping that this is reading correctly for you. It's a 100 ml bottle, and it is made in France. And I believe the batch code is 1L, as in Larry, 02. Eau de Parfum. Okay. Now this one, my good friend Theo in Central California, Fresno, California, gave this to me. I really do like it. But it's a real rich, saturated, heavier, classier, distinguished type of cologne. I don't see this for young people. And when they say, oh, this is for the older gentleman, 25 on up, you have got to be kidding me. My shoes in my closet are older than 25 years old, and I bought them brand new, and they look brand new yet. No, when I think of an older gentleman, I personally think 50 on up, but at least 40. None of this, 30 years old, 35 years old. Are you kidding me? No. 25 and all that, no. So anyhow, I would say, now depending on your status, your maturity level, how you dress for your job, what kind of position you hold, what kind of company you mix yourself with, I think all makes a big difference. I just do. Me, it's like, well, I'm older, seasoned, so I figure, well, I did those working years and all that, so that's behind me now. But I will spray this on. Has a big, heavy metal cap. I mean, you might see how it just, well, it kind of normally just grabs right on there, out there. It snaps on there very firmly and snugly. And now I'm going to spray 3 different colognes on it. Remember, I told you I'm naked right now, naked and free of any prior cologne sprays. So I'm going to spray this over here on my upper arm. You can see that mist there. And immediately, oh, it's lovely. I don't have to put my nose to it. I'm way over here. And again, this is Eau de Parfum. It's delicious. It's really nice. Now, let me forewarn you, I did not go and reread all the notes and all that, because honestly, as you probably know by now, anytime you read notes of anything, it's bergamot, lemon, and the opening, and then rose, and heliotrope, or whatever it is, all these things, that it's just kind of repetitive. And tonka bean this, and oak moss that, and aldehydes, and whatever. Well, I bet you that most of us out there don't really know what each individual one smells like. Now, lemon, of course, bergamot, yes, I understand that. Rose, jasmine, because I am kind of a gardener too, so yes. But this, it's just really, really rich, more saturated, doesn't blow your head off with, a ton of citrus and all that. I don't really get that. It's just fabulous. But what people have said, that as it wears down after the first 15 minutes or so, that they get the sense of like cherry, but more like almond and vanilla, and that's another one. Vanilla is used so much in fragrances, which I kind of grow tired of hearing and smelling that, about vanilla being used. But it depends how it's used too. To me, if a cologne is really done well, and the way I'm noticing with this, that you don't pick out all the notes individually. It's just like a harmonizing symphony. You hear all the orchestral or members of the orchestra playing together in such a way that you just hear the blend as just one. And that's what I kind of notice with a lot of colognes as well. I can't sit there and say, well, I smell a little verbena. Now, a lot of them you can, of course, because they're so forward in that. But I'm letting this settle, as we all should do when we spray a cologne, and not judge right off the bat, because after the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, it's not what it was when you sprayed it, correct? Right. And unless you're gonna run out in the middle of a room or at a wedding or a party or a restaurant and say, here, smell this, no, that's more to start it off and for you to start the journey, the fragrant journey of this. But the start is not long-lived. And then it's just a gateway to take you into the forest, if you will, of fragrance. Now, see, this is really good. I'm going to urge you to look up, if you really want to know the note breakdown for the L'Homme, let me put it to you this way, the L'Homme Ideal Extreme by Guerlain. It's really, really nice. It is definitely for an elegant occasion. I would say it's definitely more for fall and winter to break through the cold. So instead of breaking down the notes, I would say that it's for the distinguished gentleman. You will get noticed with this because for being a modern type of fragrance, it's discernible, which is a good thing. It doesn't smell like Eau Sauvage. It doesn't smell like Chanel. I'm thinking of today's more modern fragrances. And it doesn't smell like Zadig Voltaire. And all those are wonderful, trust me. It doesn't smell like Encre Noir, No, it just doesn't. But it's just really luxurious. But there is that almond in there and vanilla. And some will argue that there is like a cherry, like a cherry almond going on. And I could see that. I could smell that. But I wouldn't say it's overpowering in that. So it's really, but I can smell that vanilla in the background. But there's other notes that tend to be more spicy. Floral, I don't get. I'm not getting the florals, which I like florals, but I'm not getting florals in this. So if you want something with florals, this isn't for you. It may be on the note breakdown, but I'm not getting florals. I'm sure there's got to be some in there, but it doesn't come through. So that's basically it for my review of Ideal. Again, I didn't want to make this video too long, so there you have it, the 100 ml bottle. Moving on, we'll go to Sauvage Forte. The back is plain, the top. Now this is the one that I got for Christmas this year, I believe. No, I'm sorry. My birthday. My 63rd birthday last August from my friend in Central California. Different friend from the one I just told you about. And anyhow, oh, I just took off the lid. Let me show you the lid. See, that has the magnetic lid. It just almost sucks it on, and it's strong. It's a nice cap on there. I'll spray this on here. And I am going to spray it on my wrist. See if I can, because I want to, maybe on the back of it, so I can show you how can I contort myself here. See the fine mist? Beautiful fine mist. Now, I don't know if you can see well, maybe on my shirt, I should do that. The milky-like texture. Yes, maybe that. I don't know. It's so fine. Well, I'm really going to be smelling of Forte, but it's really a fine texture, a fine mist. And this is really an interesting, for a modern one, different fragrance. Again, not blasting you with lemons and bergamot and verbena and all that stuff up at the top. It just doesn't have that. It takes you, as I visualize, into, it's nice, but you know, I gotta be quite honest with you. I don't wear this one as much as I do Elixir, which is a small bottle that came with this as a gift. So he included that with a gift here, which is about that big. And that I've worn about 5 times, more than I've worn this one. This one here, I think is, I'm gonna say, oh, it's good. And I'm starting to appreciate it more now. It's good, but it's almost got like a mulchy, wet forest floor, ferns around, you know, on the forest floor. This is what comes to my mind. Damp, slightly musty, but in a nice way, if that makes sense, if that could even make sense. But again, not with florals, and not with lemon and brightness and all that. There's not the brightness in here. It just goes straight away into something different. But, But it is nice though. It's different, it's unique, but it is nice. And again, I urge you to pull it up on basenotes.com or fragrantica.com and take a look at what they say for the note breakdown. It's good. In fact, I feel like I should start wearing this for winter, before winter is gone, which will be in the next month. You could wear this in spring too, I think. This one here, the Ideal that I sprayed up here, this is a different beast. This one is a polished, distinguished kind of smell. This one here is good. It's just different. And I think it would be more polarizing in a way. But it's something, again, that is, it's heavy, but it's not as heavy as the Ideal. But it's really, it's almost smell sweetness in there, a little bit in the background to lift the forest floor, ferns, greenery, wet, damp smell to sweeten that up a little bit. But I'm starting to think that I'm kind of liking it. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be now that I've spread the Ideal on. It's one you might want to try, but I would urge you, because apparently this is quite expensive, to, oops, I'm sorry, oh, just banged that with my foot. I would encourage you to try this at a department store, get a sample of it, get a little decant of it before you invest your money into that one. But now that I've sprayed it, because I haven't worn this for, I don't know, 3 months or so, and I feel kind of bad about that. Yet the elixir, like I said, the little bottle, that I've worn at least 5 times. So now that's that for the Sauvage or Forte. And to make the comparison to the Sauvage, and I hope I'm not saying Eau Sauvage, it's just Sauvage. I don't have any Eau Sauvage. The Dior Sauvage, Straight Sauvage Parfum. I have that one, and I'll have to review that at some point. And that's the first plain Sauvage Dior that I got, and it's straight parfum. That one's nice. Now that is very heady, very rich. It sits, but yet comes forward to you for being a straight parfum. It really sits, but rather loudly, as opposed to like my Bleu de Chanel parfum that sits quietly as it delicately permeates the immediate space around you. The Sauvage is much more, I guess you would say the scent bubble emanates from one's person much more so with Dior Sauvage Parfum. Okay, with that being said, let me go into the last one here that I just got a couple weeks ago. Love this one. This is one that I used to see when it first came out in the early 90s. And I remember thinking, I don't care for that. Well, let me tell you, we all can change our mind. Anyhow, this is Bucheron EDT, Eau de Toilette. So this is when I've been using already. I've made a dent in it, and I've only had it for a week, okay? That goes to tell you. Not wearing the Eau Forte that much, but this one, oh my gosh. And this is a 100 ml bottle, right? Yes. And I doubt if you'll be able to see what that says on there. But that's the front of it. Of course, everybody talks about the famous blue cap, which is supposed to mimic that of a sapphire. Wouldn't that be something to have a sapphire like that? Wow. Anyhow, I love this. I took a chance. I got it at the fragrance discounters. And I'm here to tell you, I love it so much that I wanted to try the Eau de Parfum of this, so I ordered that. And I'm waiting for it in the mail. So this here, I just took off the cap here. Whoop. And there's the inside of the cap. Very lightweight. It's still pretty. And I will spray this on this wrist here. So let me try to show you the mist of this here. All right, this way. Try to find myself here. Whoa, that's a lot. Oh, yes. Yes. Now, this one here, the other way, this one here is a big citrus blast, which I'm sure if you've ever watched any videos from other reviewers about this, you'll discover that they talk about the big citrus blast. Oh, major. Lemon verbena. It smells like bergamot, lemon verbena. I believe tangerine and orange in here. Oh, it's just divine. And I saw one reviewer by the name of AC and Joy Amin, and especially AC that reviewed this, and he's the one that I was finally convinced to buy this one. And oh my gosh, it is, I just can't tell you, I just love this one. I mean, I'm actually going to get another one of the eau de toilette soon. When I catch myself buying the same one more than once, and especially 2 times over, I'm like, okay, I really like that. And this one I really like. This one is very classy. Still with a fragrance. I'm starting to now finally get a little bit of the floral, like a jasmine rose background. Now see, this one I can tell the different notes in there, but that citrus really carries it through. It's just fabulous. Oh my God, yes. It gets more luxuriant as time passes. There's a lot of notes in here, but they play together beautifully. It takes you on a journey of elegance, maturity. And when people say dated, I hate to think that being classy is dated. Although in today's world it seems to be. I don't know. It's a whole nother discussion. But I am old school, as a lot of my commenters have said to me, which that's fine because I am older and that's what it is. Oh my God. But yes, a very long-lasting citrus blast. But it's very nice because there's different citruses in here going on. But as I said before, that I am getting a lot of the rose, and not a lot, but I mean I'm getting a mixture of florals in here. And I believe it's ylang-ylang in here, which is really nice. And as it gets down to the base, I think there's oak moss in there. There's things in there that maybe tonka bean, and things that kind of have a little powderiness to it as it wears down. But all in all, again, I urge you to look up at the notes for this, but it also has a smell that I remember and lived for, and that is that, I'm sorry, that many of you will never experience, of a bygone era, the classiness of the beautiful department stores, in my case, at my hometown, downtown San Francisco, being City of Paris, Joseph Magnin, I. Magnin, Ruth Atkins, even Macy's back then, Saks Fifth Avenue, although Saks Fifth Avenue is still around, but they're not what they used to be back then. But going through those stores in downtown San Francisco, and it would smell like this, and I was just felt like I went to heaven. And I mean from a young age, throughout all these years. And this here reminds me very much of that. And it's a smell that I just, if I had to, this is pretty bold for me to say, but if I had to get rid of all my other colognes and just keep one, at least the way I feel right now, I'd say that this one would be the one I'd keep. I mean, it's just because, of course, people say, oh, I love nostalgia. I'm going to readjust this here for a minute, so excuse me. people say that I love nostalgia. Well, I guess I do. But it's just one that is timeless, a timeless classic. And that is what I've always liked in my clothing, my shoes, my furniture. Although I've changed now a little bit through the years and gone more this mid-century modern kind of thing. But I used to have all the antiques that were, I wanted to kind of, in my life, stop the clock and have the classic everything, classic jewelry, classic car, classic, you know, classic everything, and just hold on to that and transcend through time, but with the same stuff and not deviate from that. Because everything moves so fast and changes on a continual basis, and it's really disturbing to me because it's just too much. It's just too much flux. And I need to have things just settle down. Yeah, now a new movie, new music, a little bit, new food, okay, that's fine. But to have everything being constantly changed out, can't do it, no. And apparently I'm not the only one that feels that way because look, they're bringing back the old colognes from the 80s and the 70s and even the 60s and perhaps the 50s that people are really discovering now, you younger folk out there, and really admiring it. So there's something to that, okay? So with that being said, yes, I think, and for the price point on this Bucheron, out of these three, the Bucheron comes in, that I paid for, $23. And this was a week ago, not 5 years ago. And wow, when I think that I have several bottles of Cremo or Cremo, whatever you want to call it, because I got kind of caught up in that. And they charge more, that much or more for a bottle of Cremo. I'm sorry, but no. No. I'm sorry, no. I like some of the Cremo ones. I love the vintage suede, and I love the Palo Santo, and of course the classic bourbon and oak. But outside of that, not a huge fan. Well, with the exception of blue cedar and cypress, and saltwater and cypress. Those two are pretty nice too for the summertime. Well, the blue saltwater and cypress. But apart from that, that's it. And I've had several of them, so I'm just, no. So anyhow, with that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of this review. Well, now, at least it's not an hour, but it is 3 different colognes. And just since it's been so long since I've done a review, I just wanted to come on here and kind of get together with my subscribers and newcomers as well. And see what you think and let you know what I think, whether you ask for it or not. But yeah, I think that's it. I have a lot of colognes I could review. So if you would like, you could also, if it would interest you, I welcome you to put in the comments if you'd like to have me review a certain one. Now, in the comments, I'll tell you, well, I can't because I don't have it. Or I could say, well, I did have it recently and that I could still review it. But, you know, I'll see what you come up with. And if I have it, I'll review it. Absolutely. Just to let you know, I have quite a few Guerlain fragrances. I have some even lately that I purchased from TJ Maxx off the recommendation from other cologne reviewers on YouTube. I have even Georgia Beverly Hills on there that I could review. I have 3 Encre Noirs, and one I don't have is an Encre Noir Ombre. That is Encre Ombre, I guess it would be called. That one looks interesting. I could review, which I should do, my Van Cleef & Arpels. Versace Oud. Zadig Voltaire. And Paul Sebastian. Escada. To Stetson. To, like I said, I mentioned I have some two also Hermes, which I have Narcisse Blue by Hermes, which I bought at the Hermes boutique on Maiden Lane in San Francisco. I still have that, over a half a bottle full of it, half full. And so it's, yeah, and many more. I just can't think of them right now. I have so many. From that to, well, Tabak, which I love Tabak. That one's a really nice one. And Lan Sumi, also from my good friend Theo in Central California, Fresno. And thank you, Theo. And so I have several. So just let me know. And it was nice seeing you again. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm going to finish my, probably now, cold cup of tea. And I'm going to warm up a ratatouille that I made from scratch the other day and have that for dinner. So I bid you happy fragrance returns. Fragrant returns? I don't know what I'm saying. Who knows? I guess I have a time limit. I have an expiration date, maybe. I guess we all do, honestly. But anyhow. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and that I just want, from my gut, from my true self, just, no glitzy anything. Just be straightforward with you. Sit back, be able to watch the video, have a chat with me. And also, too, I want to bring this up to you. What do you think of the idea of me perhaps going live, and that we could have a live chat, live discussion centering around male or men's fragrances, and talk about your experiences and mine, and kind of commiserate? Just an idea. Just put that in the comments if you like that idea. It's just something that popped up to me when I was taking a shower. This is where I get my ideas. My blood finally starts moving in the shower. I finally get circulation going. And I kind of do a lot of thinking in there. So, but yeah, I thought, well, why not try that? Maybe do like a live show, live discussion. So let me know what you think of that. Okay, well, I guess that's it for now. I bid you adieu. And, as we say in Portuguese, adeus. And yeah, I guess that's it. And thank you, or muito obrigado, but thank you. Okay, have a nice day, evening, and make sure to always smell wonderful. Bye.